Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kalorama's webinar. Let's give us just a few seconds while we wait for everyone to join us and get settled, and we will kick things off in just a moment. All right. I think we can get started. I see we still got a couple people coming in, so we'll go through some admin stuff while everyone gets settled. Again, thank you everyone who has joined us today to Kalorama's strategic brief, Trends in Technology Shaping the HbA1c Testing Market. I'm Elisa Alvick. I'll be your moderator today, also Kalorama's marketing director. Before we get started, I'm going to go over a few housekeeping items. First, if you experience any issues during the webinar, feel free to put them in your chat. I'll work with you directly to fix them. Two, this presentation will be available on demand after it's concluded. I'll send out an email with all the information on how to access. Three, we will be taking time at the end for some question and answer, but please feel free to submit your questions at any time throughout the presentation. We'll get to as many of those as possible, and any that we don't get to, we will surely follow up with you after the event. And so without further ado, I am going to introduce today's presenters. We've got Mike Tice, SVP of SDI, IBO in Kalorama. We've got Daniel Granderson, Senior Editor at Kalorama, and of course, D'Amica Williams, VP Market Intelligence. Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Elisa. Yeah, I also appreciate everyone in the audience lending us a bit of your time to attend our Kalorama webinar on the market and trends for HbA1c testing. Here's your presenters for the day. Elisa's already introduced us. I'm Mike Tice, Senior Vice President at Science and Medicine Group. I have a role with several of our brands, SDI, IBO, and Kalorama Information, which is the relevant brand for this discussion. Some last-minute scheduling has prevented Marianne Crandall from the Kalorama team from presenting today. So thanks, Elisa, for quickly switching things out there. Marianne and her team, you may have seen her in some of the invitations we've sent for this event. She and her team produced the report and she developed the presentation. Pinch hitting for her will be Daniel Granderson, Senior Editor at Kalorama and a key person on the Kalorama team. Daniel, want to just say hello for a sec?
Hello, everybody.
Great. And then D'Amica Williams from our BioInfo IMV teams and part of our corporate leadership, who will talk about some ways that you can make use of the insights in the report, or how you might use the report and additional market research inputs to solve specific questions and problems you may face. All right, next slide, please. So here's our agenda. I'll talk very briefly, I promise, about Science and Medicine Group. Daniel will present some of the key results of the HbA1c report based on Marianne's research and presentation. And as I said, D'Amica will talk about how to use market research to your advantage, and we'll finish up with some Q&A. Next slide. So about Kalorama Information, we're the leading source of market information on IVD and related healthcare areas. Among our recent publications is the HbA1c report that forms the basis of this talk. Other reports focus on cell and gene therapy and specific classes of diagnostics for cancer, point of care testing, etc. Next slide. And then Kalorama is just one of the publication brands that are part of Science and Medicine Group. Each one focuses on one or more centers of expertise to provide full coverage of the laboratory and clinical world. Bioinformatics addresses life science markets, often from a marketing-oriented standpoint, as we tap into our network of experts and researchers. That primary research is not only featured in our publications, but also key to what we do for clients in custom market research. SDI publishes market reports on analytical and life science instrumentation and equipment. SDI's newsletter, IBO, covers the same markets from a business perspective twice a month. Kalorama, we've discussed already, and IMV provides reporting and data on the medical imaging and clinical markets. I should say that all of our brand's publications are hosted on our Knowledge Center, which is our web platform where you can access all of the content you've licensed from us, regardless of the brand. Next slide. So stepping back to look at Science and Medicine Group's capabilities more broadly, we offer a full range of market research and business support. In addition to off-the-shelf reports and other published data, we also carry out custom confidential market research and advisory or consulting projects. We have our own proprietary community of working scientists who've opted in to assist in our research. So this gives us great power for delivering customer insights to clients through quantitative and qualitative studies. And we have digital communities and media platforms where our communities congregate and that can serve your content up for various audiences. And maybe best of all, we have all these capabilities in-house and we can cross-collaborate to meet your needs. All right, next slide. So for here, let me turn things over to Daniel to walk through a selection of the data and insights from Kalorama's HbA1c report.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you everyone for attending. Today, we will review the current revenue and growth estimates as presented in Kalorama's report, the HbA1c market for 2025. We will also touch on trends that are or will likely affect the market over the next 5 years. In this current slide, you can see that the current size of the HbA1c IVD testing market is $1.7 billion at the manufacturer's level. The market is growing due to several drivers and is anticipated to reach $2.3 billion by 2029, demonstrating a 5.7% compound annual growth rate. Growth factors include an aging global population, an increase in the diagnosis of diabetes, technological advances, government initiatives, and an increase in POC testing and home diagnostics. Next slide, please. The market is segmented into lab-based testing and point-of-care testing. Lab-based testing is the largest segment, accounting for 67% of the total market. This segment will remain the largest due to the lower cost of running tests and the availability of lab-based testing, which is often done during annual or routine doctor visits. Point-of-care testing will continue to make inroads, increasing revenues and market share due to advancements in technology and accuracy gains. Next slide, please. There are several technology platforms important to HbA1c testing. These include immunoassay platforms, enzymatic platforms, and other such as mass spec. However, HPLC is a gold standard for HbA1c testing, accounting for 55% of the total market. HPLC provides precise and reliable results and offers insights into the potential presence of hemoglobin variants that might not be otherwise detected. Looking ahead, the most challenged of the market's key technology platforms will be immunoassay platforms. This is because Kalorama anticipates growth will slow due to advances in technology. Next slide, please. In Kalorama's report, we profiled almost 24 key competitors in the HbA1c market. As you can see on this slide, this list of companies includes globally recognized names such as Abbott, Roche, Siemens, and Danaher. Next slide, please. On this slide, you'll notice revenue estimates based on manufacturer revenues. The top 5 competitors combined to account for almost 45% of the total market revenue. Abbott is the leading HbA1c competitor, accounting for 17% of the market through its participation in both lab-based and POC testing. Not far behind is Roche, which offers multiple HbA1c products and accounts for 11% of the market. Next slide, please. Here, you'll notice a list of selected products offered by industry leaders. These include a range of products, including immediate POC tests by Abbott, Roche's assay that aids in the diagnosis of diabetes and helps identify patients at risk for identifying diabetes, and a rapid HpA1c analyzer from Biorad, among other important products. Next slide, please. And here, we will briefly discuss trends influencing market growth. Currently, only 10% of all diabetes cases are type 1. And globally, there continues to be an uptick in the prevalence of type 2 diabetes due to lifestyle choices such as a lack of exercise, high fat and carbohydrate intake, and low fiber intake. Rising prevalence of obesity is fueling type 2 diabetes. And obesity is a major health issue in developed nations, especially the United States. Across the globe, there's been an increased government support for tackling the diabetes epidemic in most countries, particularly the US, the UK, Japan, and Saudi Arabia, through increased access to early testing. The world diabetes population is estimated to be 589 million and is expected to grow to 643 million by 2030 and 853 million by 2050. Currently, about 12% of the US population has diabetes. The number of Americans with diabetes is projected to increase by 165%, from 11 million in 2000 to 29 million in 2050. Certain races have a higher prevalence for developing diabetes, including American Indians, Alaska Natives, and non-Hispanic African Americans. Outside the US and globally overall, China has the largest diabetic population at 116 million as of 2019, and is expected to rise to 151 million by 2045. North America leads all regions in HbA1c testing with nearly 42%, followed by Europe at 31%. These two regions account for 70% of the total HbA1c market. And indeed, many HbA1c tests are first developed for the US market and obtain CLIA waivers before international distribution. Nonetheless, access to HbA1c testing is a major issue in many developing countries. Meanwhile, aging is a major contributor to the development of diabetes, as is accompanied by metabolic changes such as an increased insulin resistance and and alterations in body compositions and a decline in key physiological factors such as growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor 1, and sex steroids. The increase in diabetes in older people is also partially due to increased lifespan. Approximately 29% of people over the age of 65 have diabetes. Another factor focuses on technology. Globally, researchers are working on advancements in biosensors, microfluidic assay formats, lab-on-a-chip technologies, and smartphone-based biosensors that can be used in diabetes testing. For example, biosensor technology has advanced to demonstrate more sensitivity and miniaturization, ushering in nanotechnology, which has revolutionized point-of-care HbA1c testing. Point-of-care testing continues to grow due to advancements in technology and demand for sensitive, rapid results for patients. Home testing has increased due to the availability of home tests during the COVID-19 pandemic and rising consumer awareness. The point of care and rapid HbA1c testing market is expected to continue to make inroads, and Kalorama estimates they will demonstrate a compound annual growth rate of 7.8% from 2024 to 2029. And lastly, artificial intelligence is permeating most areas of healthcare as its value grows in diagnostic areas. AI and machine learning can process vast amounts of data, providing more accurate diagnostics. AI-powered point-of-care HbA1c devices allow for real-time diagnostics that can instantly analyze HbA1c levels and enable immediate treatment decisions. Additionally, AI-driven IVD tools can be integrated with wearables and IoT devices, enabling continuous health management and early interventions. Early predictions of diabetes, even before symptoms appear, is valuable in preventative health care. And that concludes this portion of the webinar. I'll turn things over to Tamika.
Thank you, Daniel. That was great. Thank you so much. So Daniel has given you a lot of awesome information about the HbA1c testing market. And that information will give you high-level insights about where the market is currently and where it may be heading in the near future. So what's next? Why are we all interested in this research about the market? Well, we want to and need to be able to make decisions about based on concrete data and credible information. So Daniel has given you that information about the market as a whole, but how do you take that market information and make it usable in your particular role for your particular company? Most diagnostic companies conduct more custom research to fill those gaps in the high-level market research, and that enables them to apply this information for your particular customers, both current customers and potential customers. So we're going to talk a little bit about that next. So as Daniel mentioned, some of the top competitors on one of the previous slides in the HbA1c market. And by the way, he mentioned that there are profiles available in that full report. So if you want a little bit more information on those competitors, I do recommend that you check out the full report. By gathering and analyzing insights about those competitors, their market dynamics, and customer preferences, you can develop strategies that allow you to make informed decisions and drive growth and maximize your market impact. So let's talk a little bit about competitor analysis, or competitive intel, or intelligence, as some may call it. Competitive intelligence research begins with a thorough analysis of competitors in the HbA1c testing market. By identifying those key competitors, which this report has already done for you, in assessing their market position, product portfolios, pricing strategies, and distribution channels, companies can gain a comprehensive understanding of the competitive landscape. Daniel presented some of that here, but custom research requires that you dig deeper into your competitor's strengths, weaknesses, and areas where your company can differentiate itself. By leveraging this knowledge and information, companies can develop strategies that effectively position their products, highlight unique value propositions, and thereby outperforming your competitors. In terms of market segmentation and targeting, competitive intel research provides valuable insights by analyzing competitor customer profiles, looking at market share and customer acquisition strategies. That will allow you to identify underserved segments or gaps in the market. This knowledge guides the development of targeted marketing strategies tailored specific to those customer segments that you're trying to reach. So by understanding customer needs, preferences, and pain points, you can position your products effectively, develop compelling messaging, and allocate resources effectively and efficiently to reach the right audience with the right offering. When looking at determining optimal pricing strategies and market positioning, again, you want to look at your competitors' pricing models, any discounts they tend to offer, and any value-added services that they have. Organizations or companies can benchmark your own pricing strategies and make informed decisions about pricing levels and structures. This knowledge really helps in setting competitive prices that maximize profitability while providing value to your customers. Additionally, competitive intelligence research allows you to position your products effectively by identifying unique selling points. So that helps you to differentiate certain features that your product may have that's different from your competitors, and highlight any competitive advantages that resonate with your target customers. Competitive intel research will also inform decision-making regarding channel strategy and distribution. So by examining your competitors' distribution channels, their partnerships, who are they working with, what are their supply chain models, companies can really identify opportunities to optimize their own channel strategies. This includes selecting the most effective distribution channels, evaluating potential collaborations or partnerships, and identifying gaps or inefficiencies in the distribution process. By leveraging that information, diagnostic companies can develop robust distribution networks and ensure efficient product availability, enhance your customer reach, and provide a competitive edge over your competitors. Looking at marketing and promotional tactics, again, we want to look at what our competitors are doing. Let's look at their marketing campaigns. How are they messaging? Where are they? What does their digital presence look like? And you also want to assess their customer engagement strategies. This will allow you to gain insights into what's successful marketing and what may not be successful. This knowledge guides the development of compelling marketing strategies, also promotional activities, and the best communication channels. This also aids in identifying gaps in competitors' marketing efforts. So for example, if you notice that they're only marketing in journals and they're not doing a lot of digital marketing, which probably is not the case in these days, but just using as an example, then maybe the digital spaces where you want to show up. So again, trying to look for those gaps. And this helps organizations seize opportunities for differentiation and develop innovative marketing tactics that again resonate with your target customer. And I don't have this on the slide, but I do want to point out that continuous monitoring and adapting to changes is really important. It's an ongoing process that requires you to be constantly looking at what your competitors are doing, figuring out what works and what doesn't work so you're not making those same mistakes, and you're differentiating yourself. The diagnostic industry is dynamic with rapid technological advancements, evolving market trends, and changing customer needs and preferences. So doing this custom research, filling in those gaps in the overall market research that's available, really will enable you to stay updated on your competitors' activities, any market shifts, and emerging trends. So by continuously monitoring the competitive landscape, also important to see if there's new players that are coming in that may be taking market share that you may not kind of see in the big picture. So you'll want to continue to monitor that competitive landscape, who the players are, and so you can adapt your marketing strategy accordingly and also seize any new opportunities. Next slide, please. So I just kind of want to summarize how we should go about using this information to make data-driven decisions. So data obtained from market research provides objective and quantifiable information. You want your decision-making to be evidence-based as much as possible. So you want to take this high-level market information that Daniel has provided, along with any custom research that you may have to fill gaps. And then also don't discount any internal knowledge or information that you may have based on any kind of monitoring you've done with your own customers, and use that holistic data and information to drive decision-making throughout your product development lifecycle. Customer-centric product development, really, really important to understand the needs, the pain points of your particular target customers. So your competitor may be playing to a specific customer type, and that's great, but that leaves the door open for you to really differentiate yourself and build your product so it appeals to a different customer segment, or maybe the same customer segment if you have something in your product that is different and relieves a pain point for people in that segment. Make sure you understand their requirements and how satisfied or dissatisfied they are with your products. You want to prioritize features and pricing based on this information that you're able to gather, both high level and specific, so that you can create products and features that resonate with your customer base. And then last but not least, market research is a catalyst for growth. If you're trying to grow your market share and continue to grow your business, then you need to know who all the players are and have kind of a baseline. So you need to demonstrate that you're able to really help alleviate pain points in your target customers. And we have seen historically that companies that prioritize market research and making evidence-based, data-based decision-making are really able to adapt to changing market dynamics and capitalize on those trends before their competitors, if they're not tapped into the market. So that is all I have about using this information to help make decisions for growth. So we can take any questions.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Great presentation. So as Damika said, we will jump to some question and answer. While we do that, I will leave our contact information up on screen for anyone who wants it. It looks like we did receive a couple questions throughout the presentation, so that's where we'll start. If you haven't already, you can use your chat function on Zoom to submit your questions. And again, if we do not get to them today, we will of course follow up after the webinar with those answers. So Damika, it looks like the first one came for you. How do you see custom research evolving, especially with the growth of AI and at-home testing trends?
I think maybe two parts to that. So as Daniel mentioned during his presentation, he talked a little bit about using AI in the testing market, and I think that it's going to continue to grow, of course, but you can also use AI to fill in gaps in the research. I do caution a little bit about that because it's going to pull from known sources, right? And so it may not have as much detail about your particular customer segment, how your current customers or your potential customers, and it'll also pull from things that have already happened. So AI responses or AI data will kind of pull from things that are already out there. But what custom research does is give you real-time information. So while there may be information out there saying that customers in this particular segment plan to spend, I don't know, an increase of 10% on HbA1c testing products. But then if you go and do custom research and you ask the people who actually have make the decisions, how much they're planning to spend, it may be very different. Because maybe the AI is not taking into consideration the environmental factors. So right now we know that many companies are kind of holding on tight to their dollars, and early indicators may have said that, oh, this market is going to grow. If you go and ask those decision makers, they're like, yeah, we think we may want to grow, but given the economic environment right now, we're going to wait. We're not going to spend that money right now. We're not going. So then the market growth will be slower. But you wouldn't know that unless you did custom real-time market research. So that's the first thing. And then when you ask about at-home kits, I think the same thing. So I think that, if there's an AI component to at-home kits, I think it could drive people to their providers a little bit more to make sure, and also maybe help them, as Daniel had mentioned, catch some of these diabetes and issues earlier. Because if someone is not going to the doctor on a regular basis, or if someone is not getting have a regular provider that they're seeing, maybe they're moving a lot. And so there's lots of different instances where diagnoses could be delayed. But if they have access to that at-home kit that may tell them, hey, you're not there yet, but you may want to start looking at things, that really sets them up better for prevention and also having the conversation with their providers.
Fantastic. And D'Amica, it looks like we've got one more custom research project or custom market research question that has come in. You talked a lot about different types of really use cases for custom research. In your experience, when is it the most beneficial for a diagnostics company to turn to custom market research instead of relying solely on syndicated data?
I mean, I think it's always the case. If you're sometimes, it depends. If you're looking at a syndicated product and it answers every single question that you have, perfect. That is amazing. But once you start to grow and you want to grow, there's always going to be questions because the syndicated reports are built for the market, right? For a more general audience. So when you have specific questions that are only relevant to your business or to your role in the business, that's when you'll need something a little bit more custom.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. That looks like it brings us to our 30-minute mark. That concludes all the time we've got today. As a reminder, everyone will be receiving the presentation slides and a recording of today's webinar. And if we did not get to your questions, we will surely follow up with you after the event. Mike, Daniel, D'Amica, great job today. Appreciate your time and hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.